Hare Krishna, welcome. My name is Ananda Krishna Das and I'm a Sankirtan devotee and brahmachari from Germany, distributing and preaching here in Germany. And I want to give a little overview, introduction in the book distribution which is happening right now worldwide, but mainly about Europe and Germany, connected with the Sankirtan newsletter and our local Sankirtan newsletter. We have every week coming out this course, which are reported by the Sankirtan devotees, and then we see our results, how we are doing. In general, book distribution is of course Srila Prabhupada's dearmost service, or his contribution to the Sankirtan movement worldwide, and he was very much keen on seeing books distributed in a grand scale in all the countries in the world. So the scores are not material, but they are spiritual. They are a spiritual offering and show the dedication and endeavor of the devotees in order to satisfy Srila Prabhupada in distributing books. So as I said, we have our scores coming out every week in Germany, and then also they will be reported to the World Sankirtan newsletter and all this. So I want to give a little overview what books were distributed last week. In the week from 13th of September to 19th of September, there were 12 devotees on the list, and on the top where it's interesting, or let's say like this, there was also a temple there, and some names are of course known, especially in Germany. We had also devotee distributing from Mayapur, who is an Austrian devotee that was traveling. But all in all, there were 797 books distributed and 933 book points. Our Maha books, what we are distributing right now, is Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. This is mainly done. And also we distribute some small books like Ishopanishad, Nectar of Instruction. So we have a nice Vedic, the original text by Prabhupada with the Sanskrit and all this. We have also a scores list, how many books we distribute to date, the whole year. And this is interesting, because of course the devotee who was distributing the most books the last years in Germany, his name is Gaur Mohan Das Prabhu. He did distribute last year 17,000 books, or points, let's say points. It was roughly the same score, and the year before 20,000, so it was very successful. And this year he has so far done also quite well, even though doing many other things. There on the scores of the whole year, we have 31,344 books and book points 39,000. The last years we had in general the whole year like 80 to 90,000 book points. So let's see if we can meet this goal. Also now is like the year, the first the 3 quarters of the year are over, so almost over. October is approaching very soon, and then the hot phase of the year starts definitely. After the summer, of course, the summer is quite good, but then the closer we come to the marathon, actually the more books we distribute here in Germany, so that in the marathon we do 1/3 to let's say 1/3 of what we do in the whole year. Like last year we had 90,000 the whole year, and almost 30,000 we did in the marathon. So if we assume that this will happen this year also, we make a little prophecy how it could happen. So now we have like 40,000, then we have October, November will be quite good, I think. Add another 10, so 50, maybe 60 max, and then we have again the 60, and we could make the 90. It should be possible, even though we are maybe a little behind. All in all, it's quite well, and some Sankirtan devotees are developing quite good. Most of the books which are distributed are going out from Simhachalam. It's a countryside temple, farm, where there is a Lord Nrsingadev presiding, and they have a strong Sankirtan there, usually with 3 Sankirtan vans going out. There's a Bhakta program, there are brahmacharis, it's a quite strong troop so we can expect that. And some of them, they increased in the years they were new, and now they have some more, and they distribute more. So on place number, maybe we go through the top 10 of the German Yatra until this date of 22nd of September 2015. Who are the top 10 who distribute this year so far? So on place number position 10, it's Dwarkadish Prabhu. He is actually a long-time Sankirtan devotee. He joined approximately in 2003 or something, 2, 3, 4, something like this. He was a long-time brahmachari and distributed many books on traveling Sankirtan, very successful. Also sometimes #1 in Germany throughout the year. And he's a seasoned book distributor, so he distributed so far 1023 books this year with 876 book points. He's now in Leipzig and helping there a temple which he opened, and helping there the congregation, the devotees. And he is still a Sankirtan van and does some book distribution. As you see, it's not too much so this year, but let's see. On place number 9, it's myself, Ananda Krishna Das. I did 1,253 books and 1,013 book points, so this is also not really much, it's very little. I want to go more into book distribution in the future again, even though in the past I did more, but I have different other projects right now. As you see, also my little internet preaching or teaching, whatever it is. I want to try different fields, how I can spread Krishna consciousness. I want to study, and by the way also distribute books, and maybe at times I can go more into it, like in marathon times. So on place number 8, Godrum. He's also distributing books maybe since like 5 years or something like this. 755 book points, 1,101 book points, so 755 books this were. So he is also he's brahmachari, a traveling preacher, now together with another brahmachari, Chainitai, and they bought recently a van, so the German fleet got upgraded a little bit. So we have actually with his van, and then we have 3 vans in Simhachalam, of which one is broken right now, so we hope and pray that they can fix it. So we have these 4, then Paramatma has a van, Dvaita, these are 6 vans, yeah, so I can see 6 vans we have, and Dwarkadish also, yeah. 7 vans in Germany, which could go potentially out at the same time, which they do in the marathon, and that's the reason why then most of the books are distributed, because like in other yatras, there is a lot congregational book distribution going on. This we don't have in Germany really, which is of course a great lack. There could be much more done. So the majority of books, as we see also in this course, is done by full-time Sankirtan devotees or seasoned Sankirtan devotees, and not by like devotees who sometimes do something or do together, like in America, what's happening there in the congregation and in other places. And there the congregations, or like in India, the congregations do also a major portion of their sum total of book distribution. In Germany it's not like this. This area is unfortunately not developed, but what is good, we have still this culture of traveling and brahmachari, and so this is makes strong devotees. We can see that these individuals are all quite strong. Then we have on place number 7 Advaita Gaurahari. He is a devotee who is doing lots of congregational development and preaching. He distributed 1,614 books for 1,628 book points this year. So also this year so far not too much, was not too much happening. He is also kind of waiting for the marathon. Some of our devotees kind of wait for the marathon, then they have this urge and the fire. And he has a van, as I said, himself. He is Grihasta and is very determined disciple of Chapataka Maharaj. So he likes this congregational development. He is also Russian, or from Ukraine originally, and we have lots of Russian-speaking devotees in Germany, so he's taking care of them. And one of his devotees he takes care is a new devotee, Adokshaja, who is partially blind but still distributes like lots of books. So he's very empowered, actually, amazing person. So on place number 6, Sanjaya Das is from Simhachalam. He's a brahmachari, got initiation, I think it was last year or something, so he's quite new and was had a slow start in book distribution, but he's picking up a little bit more, and he's very inspired and fired up and likes to distribute books. So he did so far 2,247 books for 2,917 book points. So for him this so far is quite good. So the major portion of course comes, so with the end of the year we can, I think he will do some 5,000 books or something, maybe 6. Then we have on place 5 Advaita Simha from Simhachalam, also a brahmachari, 2,959 books and 3,763 book points. He has actual potential to do much more, but he's originally from Austria, as I am also, so we are actually kind of lazy people and always take it very easy, but we could do much more, so I speak also to myself now, not just to him. He's actually a very, very nice devotee. Then on place number 4, also originally from Austria, Munindra Gana Prabhu with 3,514 books and 3,958 book points. Very determined devotee, very serious, very humble, also developing now into a Sankirtan leader, not only distributing but also taking care of the van, of the devotees, of the people. He has a good potential of taking responsibility. So this is also very important, that our book distributors in time develop into leaders and can take responsibility and guide and lead people. This is what is very important also for the practical Sankirtan mission, so that they can develop areas and increase the book distribution. And place number 3 is in the German yatra at least, a modern legendary devotee, amazing devotee, very surrendered, very determined, very empowered. He can do so many wonderful things. He distributes almost every marathon in Germany. He's very hard to defeat. Sometimes a devotee can defeat him in the marathon, but this is occasionally. I stopped counting how many of the marathons he won in the past. So his name is Paramatma Krishna Prabhu, and he distributes so far 4,513 books and 5,288 book points. Normally he does in the whole year maybe 10,000, 12,000 books, which is not too much, but he has to do many other things, and then the marathon he does every day his 100 books or 150 books, so he distributes usually in the marathon like 3,000 to 5,000 book points in this 1 month of the Prabhupada marathon. So there's where he does the major portion. During the year he does many other things. So this is unfortunately right now a little bit the mood in Germany, that we could do much more, but our mood is like this marathon mood, and we kind of come out only for the Prabhupada marathon. We do something throughout the year, but the marathon now of course are quite big, and so we can see what we could really do, and I hope we'll expand our marathon a little bit throughout the year to be more surrendered and contribute more to the total score of the world, and especially of Europe, because the European zone in general is, I think, the weakest zone seen by its potential. In the past, of course, in Prabhupada's time and in the 80s and early 90s, when there was still the French yatra very powerful with many Sankirtan devotees, and Germany was very strong, which had also the Austrian side and the Scandinavians, and so of course Italy, and it was actually the strongest zone in the whole world. When we see the whole this course from the whole world, and we see that the European zone was actually at one point very strong, the strongest actually, especially Germany, which is now in the world Sankirtan scores maybe on place 10 or something like this. So as I said, this is a little bit the mood, this marathon mood, where we do much more. So right now we can see the scores are not that huge compared to other yatras who are doing very big throughout the year, like some devotees in America, led by Parameshwara Prabhu and many other traveling parties, or the Italian devotees who are steady, regularly doing lots of books. This is, maybe also, of course, Russia. In Russia there are many strong book distributors who do every day lots of books, and so you can see they have a bigger total score. And India is a completely different category. You can almost separate the Indian scores from the rest of the world. But I've seen recently, as 1, 2, 3 years back, you saw like in the top 10 only Indians. But recently I see interspersed with the scores are interspersed with many other nationalities, especially from America. There are many distributors who do quite well and are in the top devotees, Sankirtan devotees in the world. And also one devotee I recognized from Brazil. I forgot his name. Maybe I can quickly look it up. Yeah, Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, as we see here also in July 2015, he was on place 4. Right, this is quite amazing. And number 1, it was Radha Krishna Prabhu from Mumbai with 8,526 book points. This is quite amazing. And on number 2, again, there is an American, Parameshwar Prabhu, with 7,105 book points. And then a 3, also American, Deva Krishna Prabhu, with 6,550 book points. I guess they did this famous warp tour, and they go completely crazy and do amazing results, as we see in 1 month, 7,000 book points. This is huge. And then on place 4, this Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, 6,266 book points. And on place 5, Bhakta Chai Kush, also from America, and then the Indians. So in the last months I recognized that in this top 10 it was not exclusively Indians anymore. Like now it's like almost no Indian. Under the top 10 are 3 Indian. So I don't know if this is only because of this warp tour, where the devotees do really big. We will see. Maybe I can look it up, what was happening. Maybe let's take the March as comparison. How was it there? In the March, on place number... Yeah, I see that it looks a little bit different. You have 10 devotees, and at top 10 there's only 1 not Indian, Bhakta Chaikush. The rest, two, Parameshwar Prabhu also. So they are on the top 10, just 2 non-Indians from America, and the rest is Indian. So maybe the warp tour changed now a little bit the top 10. But in general, I see there are some devotees who can be in the top 10 in a month, even though the Indian devotees who have, of course, they do. I don't know what it is, why they distribute actually so many books. Recently it was always they went to businesses, they did business distribution, and they do like 10,000 books, Gitas at one time. But I heard that they took this distribution technique out of the scores, so I wonder how they are now doing it. If it's like the traditional way as we do on the street or on a parking lot or in a festival or something, like one-on-one, the traditional book distribution. If it's like this and they have this big scores, then it's, yeah, very admirable. Not that the business distribution is not great, it's also wonderful, but I also think it's a different category, or this group distribution. So there are different other methods, but in general we do it on the street and one-on-one, like this. So we want to finish now our total score. So as I said, Paramatma Krishna, he distributed these 5,288 book points on place number 3. And then now this is interesting for our German situation, because as I said, the last year Skor Mohani was always on top and distributed like around 20,000 book points a year, which is quite good. Also from an international point of view, it's okay. But he's not on number 1 this year so far, and let's see if he will change it. Probably Marathon will kick him higher, because bring him to a high position, because he is a very good marathon distributor. He won the marathon also 2 years back against Paramatma Krishna Prabhu, which is a great feat actually to do this. Last year he couldn't do it anymore. And so Gaur Mohan has 3,477 books, but 6,377 book points, because he distributes mainly Bhagavad Gitas and Bhagavatams. So 6,377 book points. So if he has a good marathon with another 3,000 points, he can make 10,000 book points, maybe a little more. He could do, which is of course much less than the last years. He was doing many other things also this year. Let's see how his 2016 will look like. And on place number 1, and this is the surprise, and the devotee who very much earns to be on number 1, who is very determined, very surrendered, very serious, very brahmachari, very strong brahmachari, also learned, he studies a lot and learns many verses and prayers, very surrendered, yeah, and is a van leader. He's also from Austria, interesting. So we can see many of our Sankirtan devotees are from Austria, even though in Austria we don't have a temple right now. Right now they search for a temple and it's almost happening, so we can pray that they will have a temple very soon in Austria again, which is a great place for preaching. People are very friendly, very nice, very generous. So on place number 1, Kripa Sindhu Prabhu with 3,983 books and 7,446 book points. So if he will keep on going like this, he can go high, over 10,000, definitely, would be possible. And in future I hope he gets, from my point of view, as I see it, his scores are happening because of hard work. He's a very hard worker, very determined and very surrendered. He's not, I would say, like an book distributor who like mystifies the people and has some mystic techniques or something. Like sometimes we hear about strong book distributors, they are like yogis and can, they are empowered and do great things. But I see he's empowered, but he's like hard working, going out a lot and regularly and all this. In general, I think with most of the Sankirtan devotees in Germany it's like this. It's not that we have some Navina here or something like this, Navina Nirda Prabhu, or like this old Sankirtan devotees who are like beyond all understanding of what they did. So we are a hard-working country trying to do a bit of book distribution, and this was the list, the general list for the year. And yeah, what's the world situation or European, let's say European situation? I switched to the Sankirtan newsletter, World Sankirtan newsletter. In Germany, we would like to be a little bit more determined, definitely. Do more, we could, but it's not so easy, other responsibilities, all this. And we'll see the top 10 in the world for, let's say, the month of July. We have on 10, and this is amazing, it's China, on place number 10, and not just, they have 3,711 book points. For China, this is like nothing, of course. If they start distributing books, I don't know what will happen then. I think they will make a revolution in the distribution. If China distributes books, you know what I mean, right? So they are on the verge of starting, it's like an empire starting to rise here. Maybe it's in the beginning of a new Hare Krishna empire. We pray for this, we hope for this. This would be amazing, this would be great. I would love to see China on the top, number 1. Not just in book distribution, in any field of Krishna consciousness, temples, devotees, all this. I was talking with a devotee recently when I was in Mayapur on the bus, and he told me that now there are, what he said, I think 1,000 devotees in China, which is, compared to the populations, like nothing, of course. But compared to devotees, and especially seen from a German point of view, because our yatra is right now, it's so-so, 1,000 devotees would be huge here. To have 1,000 initiated, practicing devotees who take care, I think this would be amazing. So 1,000 devotees, and he says it will grow, it will spread. So if the government will also change and be not so repressive and have more religious freedom, China will be wonderful. I would love to go there and distribute books then. I only would like to if it's more public. I cannot distribute if I have to be afraid of being persecuted or tortured or whatever. But as we see also, Prabhupada, he predicted if we do the Sankirtan Yagya nicely in Russia, then this will fall, and it did. It fell, and it was, as I heard, I was not so old at that time when Russia broke and the wall fell. I was there not so much involved into politics, all this. But I heard it came quite fast and unexpected. Russia was a huge empire, it was the Soviet Union, and was competing with America in all fields, the two superpowers, and suddenly it was over, suddenly it was gone, no more Soviet Union. And we Hare Krishnas, of course, we say it's because of us, we did it, right? Sankirtan-News did it, we distributed books, we changed the atmosphere. It couldn't stand anymore, such a government and all this. In the same way, I think if there is some movement in China, something happening, it could change something to the good of the people. So that would be interesting. So number 9 in the world we had the Ukraine, 4,173 book points. I think they could do much more, but still they have this crisis there, so what they do is glorious, of course. Then on place 8, that's where we are now, Germany, Austria. We have 2 countries, they kind of belong together under the same management, and as I said, Austrians in Germany and like this. And place 8 with 4,447, so this doesn't include the, as I said, this is July, so August is missing, and yeah, September also, of course. So we have only 4,447 book points. What can we say? He has even written minus 60%. So we have to work a lot. As I said, we are hard working. Let's see where we can carry this year, how far we can go. On place number 7, Mexico, 4,600. Place number 6, Australia. This is amazing. Australia, last years it was not doing so much, but suddenly also increase of 241% and 8,826 book points. This is amazing. And then we have Brazil, which is, even though written here minus 30%, the last years, maybe if I remember back 10 years or something, Brazil was not really there. No South American country was there, so in the recent years it came back, and it's coming back, and it's in place number 5 with 15,724 book points. Then on number 4, I would say from a German point of view, it's not an enemy, of course, but there's a rivalry. It was always there between England and Germany, and I would say the score doesn't really tell, but they have 16,563 book points on place number 4. Recently, when I looked up the scores, Germany and England were always quite close, where I wondered, because England, they could do much more with their huge congregations and the Indians and the influence and the money and the prestige and all this. So that we compete with them is interesting, but actually we should do more. Place number 3, Russia, 42,000 book points. What can I say? But they're far behind number 2. Their competitor or competition partner, United States, and they have 72,313 book points. So there's like a big difference. But the Russians also, they are into the marathon. So after the marathon it looks quite different. And on place number 1, of course, India with 88,290. This is interesting. I didn't recognize this. India has only 10,000 book points more than the United States. This is a little shocking. It's also written there minus 50%. Sure, why is this? This is interesting. No, this should not be. But they are also into marathon after marathon. They do huge. Recently they always did like, I think, 2/3 of the world's distribution shot a year. Like we had 6 million books, they did 4 million out of this. So let's see how the year will develop. So this a little bit to scores and book distribution. We want to encourage everyone. We want to encourage ourselves too to go more into the book distribution, not for the scores. This is just a little reflection of the endeavor, but for the fun of it, because for the mission, for pleasing Srila Prabhupada, for becoming an advanced devotee, getting purified of anarthas. Sankirtan is a sure way to become purified. It's Chetu Darpana Marjanam, it's the Sankirtan Yagya, Parang Vichayate, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, which cleanses the heart from all these unwanted things. Sankirtan book distribution is a very, very intense process. if we can stand in the fire of the book distribution, we get nicely purified, and through this become qualified to have a better japa, a better kata, a better bhajan, to relish more and more the nectar of Krishna consciousness, the nectar of his sweetness and greatness, and to have nice sadhu sangha, being that we are a pleasure for other devotees, and to bring more on the street and distribute books. It's a great service, it's wonderful, and it's fun, it's amazing, and I like everything of it, and I like this course, I like to see who is doing what, and a little competition and fighting and all this. And it's good for the kshatriya spirit, it's good for our brahminical skills, to talk with people nicely and to explain things, and use it also in our preaching, give lectures, spread as nice as we can, but not with, in German, Brechstange, so not like with force, but with sweetness and with humility and with fun. People can see then the difference, that these Hare Krishnas, they are good, they are for real, they are cool people, they have something to contribute, and we can see now there's so many advances of the Sankirtan mission, and it's nice to see that we're still there, and we're in contact, and we think how to do it better. And I saw today a little promotion video from Russia. A devotee showed me in Moscow they do every Ekadashi a big festival, a Goloka festival, and they rent a stadium, and 10,000 people come to celebrate Ekadashi. And they have huge kirtan, and big Maharajas are coming, and people are in ecstasy, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. So ISKCON is very strong, very live, and I'm sure Srila Prabhupada are most respected and wonderful. Acharya is very pleased. I can only, from my point of view, I think he's pleased. Of course, ISKCON is, we have problems also. It's not that everything is perfect. Of course, every endeavor is covered by faults, as fire is covered by smoke. This is there, but in all, the movement is doing nice. Yeah, we're doing nicely. We are spreading. We're trying. We are bringing people in. We are chanting. We are getting purified ourselves. We can see so many wonderful, great personalities in this movement. I was thinking today about this, how many charismatic personalities are in this movement. It's amazing. They are very attractive. So, and for us individually, the marathon is approaching now, the last quarter of the year, October, November, the fire, it's getting more and more, it's getting more and more hot. Then we start in December, beginning of December, into the marathon. We want to go really, really into it, to give everything what we can. We should, marathon means you run slow, that you can cover the whole distance, of course. But if you can do it, make the marathon a sprint. What are you doing in a sprint? In a sprint you give everything, full power. Have you ever done sprint? And you run? Yeah, when you do the jogging, the marathon, you run slowly and you time your energy. But in a sprint, it is 100 meters. I give everything, full power. So in our Prabhupada sprint, we can maybe do like this. We do more than usually, go out a little bit more. And especially in the last week, this is always how the devotees taught me and told me, you start maybe slow, first week 6-7 hours, 8, second week 7-8 hours, and third week you do 8, and in the last week you do everything you can, you go out 10 hours, whatever it takes. So everyone knows how to do it and get absorbed, get the nectar, increase our scores for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. As I said, the scores are not material. Srila Prabhupada was very, very carefully reading the scores and relishing when the scores were sent in, and he was reading, and he he liked it very much. And so we can see the scores are very, very nice. You see the names and the increase and all this. This is a transcendental sport, right? It's like in the sports world, especially there in America, they are all in these details of the numbers of the scores and the percentage of the team, of this player, of this and that. So we can absorb ourselves in these things and be also part of the whole thing. And if we don't distribute ourselves, we sponsor books and we help Sankirtan devotees, we facilitate. It's just great and wonderful and ecstatic. So please pray everyone for everyone, that we can get more nectar, meet wonderful people, distribute many books at once, and get nice Lakshmi and have nice realizations. And all this is all about it's all about giving ourselves, making this offering of our time and energy in the Sankirtan Yagya in order to please the Yuga Avatar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so we can very easily become pure devotees and attain this wonderful goal of Krishna Prema. Thank you very much. Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Krishna.